Imagine for a moment that the noise of the world fades away, that the worries agitating you today, that conflict at work, that pending debt, that misunderstanding you carry slowly rise toward the sky, and from there you observe everything as if you were a distant star. This is how the Stoics, over 2,000 years ago, learned to calm their minds in seconds with the exercise of the view from above. It's not magic, it's a skill, a way of thinking that transforms chaos into clarity. Cleanthes, a disciple of Zeno, said that the universe is a shared mind, and in that mind, every human problem is just a whisper in the cosmic wind. When you feel overwhelmed, close your eyes and mentally travel to space. Observe Earth, that pale blue dot floating in darkness. Do you see? Your fears, your urgencies, even your triumphs are as vast as a grain of sand, yet part of something infinite. Neuroscience confirms this. By adopting this perspective, you activate the prefrontal cortex, the region regulating emotions. You're not escaping reality, you're mastering it. But Stoicism isn't about denying what you feel. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the muscles." Here's the secret: to build a Stoic mind, you don't need to be invincible. You need to know yourself. Your weaknesses aren't enemies, they're tools. Are you impatient? Use that energy to act, not to anguish. Are you afraid? That's your compass to prepare. Epictetus, the slave who became a teacher, summed it up: it's not events that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. Now take a deep breath. Think of a problem troubling you today. Visualize it from space. What remains when you reduce it to its essence? Likely just three things: something you can control, something you can't, and the choice of where to place your attention. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, noted in his meditations, "You have power over your mind, not external events." Realize this and you will find strength. The true nature of Stoicism isn't in books, but in that instant when you choose to look inward and ask, will this matter in 100 years? What if today, instead of fighting the wave, I learned to sail? This is your call to action. The next time anxiety knocks, don't flee. Raise your gaze. Turn this exercise into a daily ritual. Before sleeping, write a line in a notebook as Musonius Rufus did about what you controlled and what you released. Little by little, you'll see how calm becomes a habit, not an accident. Stoicism isn't armor to hide your humanity. It's a mirror reflecting your capacity to grow even in storm. Zeno of Citium, founder of this philosophy, taught that happiness is living in agreement with nature, and your deepest nature is your own. Don't seek validation in others' applause. The answer is already within you in how you choose to see the world and how you use every fall to rise wiser. So today, as you close this narrative, carry with you a Stoic question. What version of me will emerge if I choose to see every challenge not as an obstacle, but as the brush painting my strength? Life isn't what happens to you, it's what you build with it. Now imagine carrying that cosmic gaze into your relationships. Panicius of Rhodes, who brought Stoicism to Rome, taught that the wise don't entangle themselves in others' judgments, but cultivate their inner garden. How often have you felt that someone's bad mood, a hurtful word, or an unmet expectation clouds your peace? The Stoics didn't ignore pain, but chose to respond from virtue, not impulse. Musonius Rufus reminded, just as iron is strengthened by fire, character is forged through interaction with others. The next time a conflict pits you against another, pause. Breathe and ask yourself, as Epictetus suggested, what part of this depends on me? You can't control what others say, but you can control how you receive it. If someone acts from anger, it's not an attack on your essence, but a reflection of their inner storm. Seneca wrote, "The best revenge is to not resemble the one who harmed you." Here lies Stoic power, turning clashes into opportunities to practice compassion, patience, or healthy boundaries. And when the time comes to make critical decisions, accepting a job, ending a relationship, investing in a dream, remember Chrysippus of Solis' teaching. Wisdom is seeing the essential nature of things, not their appearance. The Stoics didn't avoid risks but approached them with proheresis, the ability to choose aligned with reason and virtue. Before acting, apply Marcus Aurelius' triple filter. Is this useful? Is it just? Is it consistent with who I want to be? If yes, move forward even with fear. If no, let go without guilt. Here's the practical exercise. Each night, next to your controlled and released journal, add 2 questions. In which relationship did I act as my best self? And what decision today honored my values? Over time, like a sculptor shaping marble, you'll carve a Stoic identity. It's not about perfection, but progress. Aurelius, Cicero's teacher, compared life to sailing. You can't control the sea, but you can learn to read the stars and adjust the sails. And if you stumble, because we all do, return to the view from above. Observe your life as a cosmic map. Mistakes are just coordinates guiding you to wiser harbors. Zeno of Citium said, the path to happiness is accepting every moment as if you'd chosen it. Even pain, when embraced without resistance, becomes a teacher. So today, as you finish this narrative, carry a Stoic promise. I will live not as a victim of circumstances, but as an architect of my response. Because in every interaction, every choice, you're building something greater than a moment. You're forging a legacy of serenity. Imagine now that failure isn't an end, but the fertile soil where your deepest roots grow. Seneca, the philosopher who faced exile and betrayal, wrote, "Fire tests gold, adversity tests strong men." The Stoics didn't see falling as defeat, but as a dialogue with life. Every mistake, every loss, every no received holds an essential question. What can I learn here that success could never have taught me? Epictetus, born a slave who understood freedom as a mental state, put it this way: don't fear failure. Fear failing to try to understand it. Think of a time you stumbled. What part of your fear was real and what part was a story you told yourself? Neuroscience reveals that the brain encodes falls as threats, but the Stoics propose rewriting that code. How? By using premeditatio malorum, the practice of visualizing obstacles before they happen, not to distress yourself, but to vaccinate against panic. Here's the exercise. The next time you face a challenge, write 3 possible failures. Next to each, note how you could turn that fall into a step forward. Marcus Aurelius did this every morning. When you wake, think, today I may meet ingratitude, arrogance, selfishness, but none will harm me, for I choose not to see them as evils. Stoicism doesn't deny pain, it illuminates it with purpose. Remember Aurelius, who compared life to a play. The gods gave us a script, but let us act with our hearts. If you stumble on stage, don't abandon the play. Instead, look around. What character are you? The one crumbling at the first misplaced applause, or the one dancing in the tomato rain, turning every hit into comedy? Aurelius Rufus taught that resilience isn't inherited, it's cultivated. And you, in this instant, are planting. So today, as you close your eyes, visualize your last failure. Now observe it from space, like the pale blue dot in darkness. Do you see? What once paralyzed you is now just a note in the symphony of your growth. Zeno of Citium said, the path smooths when you accept that stones are part of it. Each of those stones, that missed opportunity, that misspoken word, that risk not taken, can be the foundation of your inner temple. Your call to action: embrace an old failure and write a gratitude letter to it. What did it teach you about your strength? Your limits? What you truly value? As Seneca did in his letters to Lucilius, signed with a promise: today I don't fear falling. I fear not rising with more wisdom than yesterday. Imagine happiness isn't a mountain to climb, but a seed already within you. Seneca in his letters revealed the secret: true joy is serene and sober. It doesn't laugh loudly, it smiles with the eyes. The Stoics sought not fleeting euphoria, but deep peace rooted in simplicity. Aurelius Rufus taught this through his life, eating little, wearing rough clothes, saying, freedom lies in needing less, not possessing more. Think of your routine. How many of your daily races are toward things that, deep down, don't feed your soul? Epictetus warned, when you crave what you don't have, you lose what you already possess. It's not about renouncing everything, but discerning. What's essential to you? Recognition, possessions, or integrity, connection, inner stillness? Marcus Aurelius noted in his Meditations, very little is needed to make a happy life. It's all within you, in your way of thinking. Here's the exercise. Each morning, before checking your phone, find a moment of voluntary poverty. Take a cup of water, sit in silence, and savor it as if it were the first sip after a long journey. Zeno of Citium practiced this by walking barefoot in the rain. This reminds me that nature gives me all I need. Simplicity isn't austerity, it's clarity. Phoenicius of Rhodes shared a metaphor. life is a banquet. Don't hoard the dishes or fret when they're gone. Savor each bite and pass the plate with gratitude. Today, in a world of excess, Stoicism offers an antidote, finding abundance in the ordinary. A loved one's laugh, the sun's warmth on your skin, the rhythm of your breath. Chrysippus of Soli said, "The wise man is rich just by gazing at the sky, for he understands the universe is his home." But how to apply this when social media screams never enough? Epictetus answered, "If you wish to be free, stop comparing your backstage life to others' highlight reels. Your journey is unique. Instead of accumulating achievements, accumulate moments of presence." Posidonius sailed the Mediterranean and concluded, "The greatest treasure isn't on any remote island, but in how you gaze at the horizon." Your call to action. Tonight, write 3 simple things you usually overlook that brought you peace. A cloud shaped oddly, a stranger's kindness, the silence between notes of your favorite song. As Seneca wrote to Lucilius, don't underestimate the power of small things. A sunbeam can ignite a forest. And if the world ever demands more, recall Marcus Aurelius, pay attention to what you have now. No one can take your here and now unless you allow it. Stoicism doesn't ask you to abandon dreams, but to never lose sight that happiness isn't at the journey's end, but in each step taken consciously. So breathe. Look around. This moment, as it is, already holds all you need to be free. Imagine death isn't an enemy, but the shadow giving depth to every spark of light. Marcus Aurelius, facing life's brevity, wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." The Stoics didn't fear the end, they used it as a mirror revealing the present's value. Seneca, in a letter to Lucilius, was blunter, "Teach dying, and you'll have taught living." Think of something you postpone, that overdue conversation, that creative project, that hug you take for granted. Now view that delay from the cosmic perspective. Zeno of Citium reminded, "Life is a play. What matters isn't its length, but how well it's acted." What would you change if you knew the curtain could fall anytime? Neuroscience confirms contemplating finitude activates the insula, the brain region connecting us to the here and now. It's not morbid, it's liberating. Epictetus offered a radical exercise. When you kiss your child, silently say, "You could die tomorrow." Not to frighten, but to intensify love. Every goodbye, every sunrise, every laugh becomes sacred when you accept nothing is permanent. Posidonius compared human life to a wave. Born from the sea, it dances under the sun, then returns to the ocean. Does the wave mourn its end? No. It celebrates its unique dance. Here's the practice. Once a month, write your own Stoic eulogy. How do you want to be remembered? For titles or character? For what you accumulated or shared? Cleanthes, the Stoic who worked nights to study by day, left a clue. Live so your tombstone reads, "Here lies one who loved, learned, and left the world softer than they found it." But how to face fear when uncertainty strikes? Pernicius of Rhodes taught disciples to practice the art of letting go. Each night, he visualized his body returning to earth, his possessions scattering, his name spoken for the last time. "This reminds me," he said, "I'm a custodian, not an owner." The Stoics didn't cling, they flowed. Ausonius Rufus summarized, "Peace lies in loving things without demanding eternity." Your call to action today, write a letter to yourself from an imagined deathbed. What would you tell your current self? What regrets would you avoid? Seneca did this and discovered, it's not that we have little time, but that we waste much. Then, burn the letter and scatter its ashes. The act isn't macabre, it's a rebirth ceremony. And if fear still whispers, recall Marcus Aurelius, "Death smiles at all." All we can do is smile back. It's not about denying grief, but honoring the life pulsing now. As you hear these words, the universe expands, stars are born and die, and you, in the singular instant, are part of that eternal rhythm. So breathe, embrace the ephemeral, and live so intensely that when your last breath comes, you can say with Seneca, "I have lived. I have completed the journey."